Hello again and welcome to the Mordian Glory video. Today we will be continuing with our Deathcore of Krieg in-depth tactical analysis, and we will be looking at the Elite's choices. But before we get into the video, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Harley's son for sending in some awesome pictures of his Deathcore of Krieg. I really like how you've painted these guys up in the Steel Legion colours. It looks absolutely fantastic with these models. It's actually made me think maybe I should, when I get my Deathcore Krieg army, paint them up to match my Steel Legion colours, and then I can use my Steel Legion as both Deathcore or a Steel Legion, and vice versa. Absolutely fantastic. Really like the classic Steel Legion scheme. The grey and tan looks really good, and the infantry looks absolutely fantastic with the tan and green as well. Really good. Thank you for sending these pictures in, Harley. If anyone else has got any cool Deathcore of Krieg pictures they want to send in for me to use in this series of videos, please post them on my Facebook page. There will be a link down in the description below. But now let's get into today's video. So the Elite section of the Deathcore of Krieg is actually really quite full. There are a lot of options, and there's a good chance I may be splitting this down into two videos. But we'll just see how the length goes. But yeah, there's, unlike the troop section, which obviously is only the infantry squads and grenadiers, here we've got, I believe it's 10 different options, 10 different options. We've got the Atlas recovery tank, the engineer squad, the command squad, the commissar, Death Rider command, Death Rider commissar, quartermaster cadre, breaching drill squadron, and the master of ordnance. So lots of options there. Deathcore are not short of choices for their Elite section, and a lot of them look quite good. So let's go through some of these now. So we'll start off with the Atlas recovery tank. Now this thing costs 100 points, and it comes with just a heavy bolter. Now, you can add a hunter killer missile to it for 6 points, and for those of you that don't know, a hunter killer missile is a single use crack missile, strength 8, AP -2, D6 damage. So 6 points for that. Those, just thinking now, and we won't go off on too much of a tangent, but in consideration that the main missile launcher, which you can shoot every single turn, only costs 4 points more than a hunter killer, it's probably about time the hunter killer missile came down by a couple of points. And if they did do that, or if at least went down to 5 points, I think you'd see them getting spammed a lot more in armies. But anyway, let's see how it goes. You can also add a pintle mount, and you can choose between a heavy stubber and a storm bolter. But you're not taking this thing for its offensive capability. You're taking it for its support capabilities, because essentially this thing is a repair vehicle. Like a tech priest engines here, this thing can heal D3 wounds from a single vehicle within 3 inches, but not itself. So an Atlas recovery vehicle cannot heal D3 wounds off itself, but another second Atlas recovery vehicle could heal it. So it can be repaired, just it can't repair itself. Fair enough. That's done at the end of the movement phase. Now the reason that's really good is because that ability stacks with the ability from a tech priest engine seer, which means if you have a tech priest, you can heal D3. If you also have a Atlas recovery vehicle, you can hit an additional D3, so 2D3. Now it does require taking a separate attachment, but there are some more shenanigans you can pull with that, because if you were, for example, to take a Supreme Command attachment, and in that Supreme Command attachment you were to take 3 tech priest engine seers from the Adeptus Mechanicus Codex, you could make one of those your warlord, and from that you could give him the warlord trait that lets you heal an extra 1, and then you can use the stratagem that lets you heal twice in a turn, which means if you had a tech priest who can heal 2d3 plus 2, and then an Atlas recovery vehicle, you could actually heal 3d3 plus 2 wounds off one vehicle, which is insane. It is insane, because the reason you can do that is because the tech priest in the AdMech Codex, its datasheet is just copy and pasted from the Guard Codex, so it still says you can heal Astra Militarum vehicles and Adeptus Mechanicus vehicles in there. So that's great. That's just a little trick. Won't go too far down that now. In terms of stats, the Atlas Recovery Vehicle, in case anyone is interested, it has movement of 12 inches, ballistic skill 4+, weapon skill 6+, it's strength 7, toughness 7, with 11 wounds, attacks degrading but go from 3 to D3 to 1, and it has a 3+ save. So it's essentially, it's on the Chimera chassis, but it has the extra wound, a bit like a Hellhound. So that's good to know. It's like an 11 wound Chimera, essentially, that can heal stuff. It is, however, 100 points. So it is quite expensive. I'm not sure, considering a regular Tech Priest is 30 points and is a character and cannot be targeted, I'm going to be honest with you, unless, apart from outside of the super healing tactic, which you might want to do on something like a Bane Blade, I'm not sure how worth it is taking an Atlas Recovery tank. I think you should take your tech, even if you're just taking regular Imperial Guard Tech Priests in your elite slots, I still think that is better than taking an Atlas Recovery tank. They do the same job, but you can get 3 Tech Priests and change the price of 1 Atlas Recovery Vehicle, and arguably the Tech Priests are more durable because they can't even be targeted by most stuff. Now obviously you've got things like Eliminators out there, but still. So the next one, which I think is one that a lot of people will be excited to talk about, is the Deathcore Combat Engineer Squad. Okay, now these guys are really, really interesting. So they come in a 5-man squad, and they are 8 points per model. Now each guy comes with a Krieg combat shotgun, and we'll go over those in a little bit more. You can add an engineer with a demolition charge and an engineer with a Voxcaster, and you can also add an engineer weapon team with the Mole launcher. You can also add engineers with special weapons, and the special weapons that you can take are Flamer, Grenade Launcher, Melter Gun, and Plasma Gun. Okay. Now, so they're actually, I think they're 7. Are they 7 points per model, and it's 1 point for the? Yes, it's 7 points per model, but it's 1 point for the shotgun, which they have to take. They don't get a choice. It is the Krieg combat shotgun. Now, this is different to a normal shotgun, and we'll get into that now. Okay, so just the stats for these guys, they have weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, so they're like Scions. They've got strength 3, toughness 3, they've got 1 wound each, and the Sergeant has 2 attacks, everyone has 1 attack, the leadership 7, and they've got Carapace armor, so 4+ save. So these guys have all the same stats as Grenadiers, or Stormtrooper Scions. They do come with Call to Sacrifice, so no worries about that. And they come with, like I said, you've got the Krieg Combat Shotgun, which has 2 firing modes. They also come with acid gas bombs, which is something that I know a lot of people will be expecting me to talk about, so I will do in just a moment. Now, what you can do with the Krieg Combat Shotgun is you can fire either the solid shot version, which is just a bolter. It's strength 4, AP nothing, damage 1, 12-inch range, assault 2. Unlike normal shotguns, this thing is always strength 4. Regular shotguns in the Imperial Guard Index at this point, or Codex with Strachan, is strength 3 until you get into half range, and then it's strength 4. These are strength 4 all the time, but if you get them in half range, they don't go up to strength 5. They are just always strength 4. Okay? Now, or you can fire the Carcass Shot, which is the one I think you pretty much roll every single time. This weapon wounds on a 2+ unless it is targeting a vehicle, in which case it wounds on a 6+. On a roll of 1, the bearer is slain after all this weapon's shots have been resolved. So you get within 12 inches, you load your Carcass Shot in, and each guy is getting, so in a full squad, that's 20 shots. Okay. And they're hitting on 3s. And if you get a 1, now it doesn't say, yeah, if you roll a 1, then they die. They have gets hot, but you're wounding anything on 2s, which is pretty good. And it's damage 2. That's the crazy thing. So you're always wounding on a 2+, and it's damage 2. Wow, that's really really powerful. That's really good. Now, they do come with frag and crack grenades, but like I said, they also come with the acid gas bomb. Okay, now this thing is lethal. Okay, really, it is really, really good. And everyone gets one of these things, which is incredible. So, the acid gas bomb, just making sure, yeah, everyone gets them, just double checking, is a grenade. It's only one shot, and it's only 6-inch range. But, it is a weapon that wounds on 2+ always, and is targeting a vehicle. Okay. It's AP -2, and it's D3 damage. Now, some of you might be saying, okay, that's cool, but why not just use the Carcass Shot? Okay, good point. You could use the Carcass Shot, but the Carcass Shot will kill you on a roll of a 1. And considering you're going to be firing 20 shots, it's a good chance you're going to get 3 1s, and that means a good chance you're going to lose 3 of your engineers. Not good. But acid gas bombs don't have that risk. Okay, and the AP -2 versus the Krieg Combat Shotgun Carcass Shot, which is AP -0. That's important, especially if you're targeting some very durable units with good armor saves. You want to bring those down. Monsters, for example, Riptides. They're not vehicles. Riptides are not vehicles. They're battle suits. So technically, you'd wound Riptides on a 2+, and Riptides are very in vogue at the moment. They're very fashionable. Pardon me, because they're Riptide and drone spam is winning tournaments even against Marines. Also, you've got D3 damage, so which is potentially more. Potentially you could get 3. Now on average you do the same amount of damage as a Carcass Shot, but you've got the potential to do more, which is important. So I'd say acid gas bombs are really good because you don't kill yourself. You've got better AP, potentially better damage output. Now, some of you might be saying, yes, but it's a grenade. You can only throw 1 per unit. Not if you use the Grenadier stratagem, which Krieg are allowed to use, which means you get a squad of 10 of these guys in acid gas bomb range, jump out of a Chimera. You can use for 1 CP the Grenadier stratagem, and you can throw 10 acid gas bombs. That is nice. Now, bear in mind that you could also take Yarrick with these guys to reroll 1s, if you wanted to. And don't forget you can order them, bring it down, which allows you to reroll 1s to wound. So you're wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s with these guys. Really, really powerful unit. Really, really powerful unit. Requires delivery, but is very, very powerful. Now, just to go over the mole launcher as well, because I know some people will be interested. This is a completely unique weapon available to Deathcore of Krieg, and I'm pretty sure only available to engineers. And if you go on the website, it's really cool. It basically shoots like a torpedo, but not on sea, obviously. A land torpedo, so it burrows under the ground. It's heavy D6, strength 5, AP -1, so it's like a heavy bolter. This weapon does not require line of sight to its target. If this weapon inflicts any unsaved wounds on an enemy unit, that unit cannot advance in its movement phase unless it can fly. That's actually really good. And it's got a 24-inch range. That is surprisingly powerful. Because you have armies out there which do rely upon advancing. And for example, White Scars can still advance and charge, and a lot of them rely upon taking fast units like bikes, which they can then move, advance, and when they advance, they go the full 6 inches, because I believe bikes just get that for turbo boosting, and still charge. Well, if you've got a mole launcher around, you can just deny. Imagine if now they do have to be wounded by it, but it's strength 5, so it'll wound those bikes on 4, so it's AP -1, so they're only getting a 4-up save. If you do that, you're denying that White Scars player potential 6-inch movement. Nice. So, however, how much does this thing cost? It is expensive. It is 34 points for that, so it's 20 points for the mole launcher. But don't forget that the engineer weapons team, they still come with 2 Krieg combat shotguns, and you don't. That's actually quite interesting. So you don't miss out on your Krieg combat shotgun. So you could take this for 20 points as insurance. If you're cheeky and you like to do a bit of soft list tailoring, I never encourage that. But if you know you're going into a meta that has a lot of advance and charge and a lot of people relying upon their advances, you can stop that, which is good. So Deathcore of Krieg engineers are quite powerful, I would say. I think the main trick behind them is that acid gas bomb. That's what I'd. Carcass Shot is great, but you can kill yourself. But what's to stop you from taking 3 units of these guys in Chimeras? Keep them cheap. Just take Carcass Shot. Don't take any special weapons. And jump them out with Yarrick. And then you've got 60 shots, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, and wounding on 2s. And you could, Yarrick can issue an order, and if you take another commander along with them, just a marshal, you can tell them all to re-roll 1s as well. So you've got 60 shots, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, wounding on 2s, re-rolling 1s. And if you get within 6 inches, you can have 40 shots doing that, and then another 10 acid grenades going at them. That's just gonna stack on the wounds, as long as you're not facing a mech heavy army. And these days, mech isn't very popular. Now think of all those assault centurions. People love assault centurions, don't they? People genuinely love taking centurions for marine armies. Big thing about centurions is that they are, really tough. And they've got loads of wounds. Well, what if I just pile on just horrendous levels of wounds onto you? That's always good. You could acid bomb those guys. They're not going to like that. And if they're in cover or something, you can take an astropath. It just get to remove cover. It just gets better and better. So yeah, engineers, they're kind of there to just they just stack on the wounds. They really do. Now, I've spent a lot of time on engineers, but I know they're a unit that people are really, really excited about. So, they do deserve to be talked about. Now, I think, I do. Like I said, I like engineers. I think they're really, really good. Now, moving on to the Deathcore Command Squad. Actually, before we go on Deathcore Command, the last thing I'd say with the engineer squad is I definitely take them in 10-man squads. Okay, and I would get a delivery method for them, and we can talk about I'm going to talk about delivery methods specifically in another video with dedicated transports and other things. I think that's the best way to run them. I think they serve, in case you're wondering, do they serve well in a traditional Krieg army or one of the more elite armies? I think they do well in either. Ideally, they should be, like I said, have a delivery system, but I think they would do well in any Krieg style army. And I actually think 3 of those squads with Yarrick and a marshal, that is a nice little detachment of its own, little vanguard detachment. Anyway, let's now move on to Deathcore Command Squads. Now, Command Squads are also another really important Krieg unit. Really, really important. They're 4-man, just like normal Guard Command Squads. And they are 7 points per guy. And you can give them a standard bearer, a Voxcaster, but you can only take 2 special weapons in the squad no matter what. So if you take, unlike Guard squads where you can take 4 special weapons in a 4-man squad, Krieg Command squads you can only take 2 special weapons, which is not as good. It makes them definitely more of a support unit. And actually the main reason you'd want to take Command squads is you want to be looking at the standards that you can take. But before we get into the standards, let's take a look at the stats for these guys. So they've got weapon skill, movement 6, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, so they are veterans. Strength 3, toughness 3, and they've got 1 attack each, leadership 6, but they've only got 5+ save. Now that's the important thing. They are veterans, and they are not grenadiers. They do not have a 4+ save, they have a 5+ save. So just bear that in mind. Now, and they only come with a normal lasgun. They don't come with a hotshot lasgun. Okay? They do come with frag and crack grenades. Now, like I said, you can take 2 special weapons in there. Personally, I would take 2 special weapons, but I would just take grenade launchers. Keep them cheap and keep them low priority, but keep them with the ability to punch a little bit above their weight. Okay. Grenade launchers tend to be a really low priority weapon for a lot of enemies, but you know, enough of them spread out do work, and command squads are ideal, especially Krieg ones are ideal places for your grenade launchers because you're not paying extra points for your special weapons that like to have ballistic skill 3+. Now, standard bearer, you can take the Krieg platoon standard, which we've talked about in another video, which is not very good. The main reason you want to take this thing is the regimental standard. Now, this thing is absolutely fantastic. All friendly units, Deathcore of Krieg, infantry or cavalry units, add 1 to the leadership, okay, and attacks whilst they are within 6 inches of a unit with the Deathcore regimental standard. Now, that's why you're taking it, extra attacks, okay. Go on, cat, go on. Cat's still trying to get fed. She literally, what she does, she comes up to me and savages me. And then I have to be like, go away, go away. Anyway. You greedy little cat. Anyway, it's because she's the Commissar cat, guys. I'm basically telling my regimental Commissar to go away. And she doesn't like that. So if you don't hear from me soon, it's probably because I've been blammed by the cat. Anyway, back to serious business. Serious Warhammer. So you're taking it for the extra attacks. Now, if you bear in mind that if you were to take a Ministorum Priest and combine that with a regimental standard, you're getting 3 attacks per Deathcore of Krieg guy. That's really good. That's as many attacks as Catachans get with Strachan and a Priest. So you can get the same volume of attacks as Catachans, but you do hit on weapon skill 3+. Remember that. But you are only strength 3, unlike Catachans, which strength 4. So, unlike Catachans, which I probably think being strength 4 is better overall because of the wound bracketing thing. It means you can wound vehicles on 5s with Catachans, where you still wound them on 6 with Krieg, but it's still really, really good. And something to be aware of is if you are planning on running a traditional Krieg army with bayonets and balls charging across the field, then you are definitely going to want regimental standards, and because they're only 5 points, and you are definitely going to want to be taking priests as well. And but I think 2 attacks per guy is okay. I think 3 attacks per guy is absolutely fantastic. I kind of wish, and I'll never do it because of Catachans and Strachan, but I kind of wish that these regimental standards existed for regular guard. They're just better in every single way. But like I said, they're not going to do it because then Catachans will be getting 4 attacks per person, which is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. If I was to fix it, I would say that Strachan gives everyone rerolls of 1 in combat, and the regimental standards give you the +1 attack. Or fuck it, you know. Sorry, but Marines are really, really powerful, and Guard is slowly but surely just falling through the bottom of the tiers, the competitive tiers. Fuck it, give us 4 attack guardsmen. At the end of the day, we're still only hitting on 4s, we're still only guardsmen. Anyway, again, don't want to go on a tangent. So yeah, that is the main reason I would take Deathcore of Krieg command squads. You want to be taking them for the extra attacks. If you are not planning on running a combat Krieg army, I wouldn't bother with regimental standards. If anyone has any other reason, you know, if anyone wants to disagree with that, fair enough, put it down in the comment section below. I'm open to being educated. Moving on, we have the Deathcore Commissar. Now, this guy is 30 points. And that is expensive. Now, he does come with frag and crack grenades, but he just comes with a las pistol. Okay. Now, you can give him, you know, the usual 2 pistols of any kind, bolt gun, hot shot, las gun, plasma pistol. You can give him that. And you can give him power sword, power axe, power fist, power maul, power sword, chain sword. You can give him all those options. But just looking at this thing, he's just a normal commissar. All friendly Deathcore units accrue within 6 inches of the commissar can use commissar's leadership of their own. It's only leadership 8, and it's okay. But if you've got Chris Venner, why wouldn't you? You know, you would take Chris Venner over this guy because he's got a 12-inch bubble. So Chris Venner is the same as having two of these commissars. Summary execution. The first time an action time unit fails morale test during the morale phase whilst it's in 6 inches of any friendly commissars, you can execute a model. If you do, one model is your choice is slain and the morale test is re-rolled. Do not include the slain. So it's the same as the normal commissar. Call to sacrifice, not really relevant on a one-man unit. Weapon skill 3 plus skill 3 plus strength 3 toughness 3 wounds 3 attacks 3 leadership 8 5 plus save. Personally, I don't think it's worth it. I would leave the Deathcore Commissar at home because he is too expensive. Clearly, his points need to be adjusted, and it's just been missed by Games Workshop. Classic Games Workshop. Now you can take the Deathcore Death Rider Command Squad. Okay. Now these guys are essentially Deathcore veterans on the Deathcore Cavalry, the augmented cavalry, the Death Rider Cavalry. They come with hunting lances and frag and crack grenades. You can't give them any special weapons or anything. So you just get 4 guys, 68 points, and they come with a hunting lance, frag and crack grenades. Now looking at their statistics, they have movement 10, weapon skill 3 plus, ballistic skill 3 plus, strength 3, toughness 4, wounds 2, attack 2, leadership 7, 4 plus save. Now we will be seeing more of the Death Riders in the fast attacks section when I cover that. So we'll touch on them here, but we'll go into more in-depth Death Rider tactics in the later videos. So you have the abilities of these guys. They have augmented mount. Each roll a d6 each time this model suffers a wound from an attack with strength 4 or less. On a 5+, it ignores the injury and the wound is not lost. So you get a 5+ feel no pain versus small arms. That's actually quite good because a lot of Marines now just rely upon boltering things to death because their bolters are so good. So normally they're gonna cut through your armor, say, with their ridiculous AP bolters. But most of those bolters still remain at strength 4. So this is actually quite good ability. But they have Call to Sacrifice. They have War Strider. This model does not suffer any penalty to its move when charging into its terrain features. And they come with the Deathcore Hunting Lance, which is strength +2, AP -2, damage D3, but they can only use it on the turn that they charge. They come with frag and crack grenades and savage claws, and those savage claws are basically the mount attacking. So they're strength 4, and after a model on this mount makes its close combat attacks, you can attack with this mount, make 2 additional attacks using this weapon's profile. So you get 2 attacks from the Deathcore Rider himself, which is good. There, when you charge, they're strength 2 AP minus, strength 5 AP minus 2 D3 damage, good. And then on top of that, you get your savage claws as well, which is strength 4. So you get 4 attacks in one guy. Now don't forget, if you were to have a regimental standard in range of these guys, you'd be getting 3 attacks per person. That's really, really good. I don't think priests affect them. I think priests only affect infantry units. So you've got your priests, so there's still 3 attacks per guy. And then don't forget you can use your orders as well. So you charge in with these guys and they get 3 attacks each. And then if they get killed, they get to make another attack before they die. So potentially you're getting 4 attacks per guy. Obviously someone dying, but you are getting potentially 4 attacks per guy from the hunting lance, and then 2 attacks. So 6 attacks from the 6 attacks on a turn that one of these guys charges and then dies. That's pretty good. You can see that has some great potential, and they are marine hunters. We'll go into it a bit more in a future video, but these guys are essentially marine hunters. Now I know a lot of people will be screaming at the screen at this point, saying you've missed out the most important bit. Don't worry, I haven't missed out the most important bit. Okay, they have a special rule called flanking maneuvers. During deployment, you can set up this unit and up to 5 other Death Riders, so that's the key word, units on the battlefield flanks instead of place them on the battlefield. At the end of any of your movement phases, these units can join the battle. Set them all up so that models in these units are within 7 inches of a battlefield edge of your choice and more than 9 inches away from any enemy models. So it's very specific why it says 5. There's a reason, okay? So you say, oh, actually, no, you can set this unit and up to 5 others. So actually, the purpose behind this is so you set this unit up plus 3 normal Death Rider units and then 2 Death Rider field commanders possibly, or another Death Rider unit and a field commander. Or you could outflank up to 5 Death Rider units and just forget the officers. You could just forget the officers and outflank, what, like, I don't know, what's the unit size you can take on Death Riders? I reckon you can take Death Riders in squads of 10. I'm going to be a betting man and say you can take them into squads of 10. Yes, you can take Death Riders in squads of 10. So if you really, really wanted to, you could outflank 5 10-man Death Rider squadrons and this command squad for 54 Death Riders outflanking. That's quite tasty. That is expensive because it's 170 points per Death Rider squad. So you're looking at 800 points roughly, just roughly. 850 points plus the command squad, so another 68. So come on, Tim, do math. 918. That sounds about right. 918 points. But you could do it. You could do it. That's the main reason people take them. Now, it is good being able to outflank them. Don't get me wrong, it is good, but they still got to deploy 9 inches away, and they have no way of increasing that charge distance or re-rolling that charge distance. So you do have to make a 9-inch charge if you outflank. The outflanking keeps them safe and lets them get up the board. However, I'm not totally convinced you don't actually just want to use them as a counter-attack unit. We'll get into more Deathcore Rider tactics, Death Rider tactics with the Death Riders themselves. I am not 100% convinced on the outflank. I know a lot of people see it as an automatic thing to do, but because it's so difficult to get that charge off, I'm not sure. I would prefer, if I was to use it, how to use them, is to advance them alongside everything else. And then either they are drawing fire for your infantry, who are probably going to be doing the bulk of the heavy lifting anyway, or the enemy ignores them and they're able to get a much closer charge off by just smashing up to the enemy and charging them. Either, I think that's possibly better. Anyway, we'll move on to the next unit now. Now, you've got the Death Rider Commissar. Now, I'm pretty sure that is just... why the hell would you ever take the regular Commissar? Death Rider Commissar, 35 points. Comes with everything that the normal Death Rider Commissar, that the normal Commissar comes with, but is on a big horse. So if you're ever going to... if you are ever going to run a Deathcore of Krieg Commissar, you might as well take one on a horse for 5 points more. Now, this guy, he has all the same abilities that we just covered with the Deathcore Command Squad. He's got Augmented Mount, he's got the Commissar ability, or of Discipline, he's got the Calls of Sacrifice, he's got War Strider, he has an extra toughness and an extra wound because he's on a mount, he has a 4+ save, which is cool. He comes with a chainsword, he doesn't come with a hunting lance, but you can give him special weapons. So, so it looks like on the surface that this guy is just like a normal Commissar. However, there's a very, very, very important oversight that Games Workshop has made with this model. Very important. Which is its summary execution ability has not been updated. Yes. That if those of you don't know what I'm talking about, yeah, your jaws are on the floor right now. If you've made it this far into this currently 34-minute long video, then this is actually why you're here. Okay. Summary execution from a Deathcore of Krieg Commissar, Death Rider Commissar, reads as follows. Friendly Astra Militarum units within 6 inches of a Death Astra Militarum, so not just Krieg, of a Deathcore Death Rider Commissar can never lose more than 1 model as a result of any single failed morale test. They were never updated. Total and utter oversight by Games Workshop, but should be totally abused. Absolutely should be totally, utterly abused. If possible, if you can do it, you should. Which is fantastic. What that means is Fearless Conscripts are back on the menu, boys. Fearless Guard are back on. Now, in the Deathcore of Krieg army, this ability isn't useful. You've got Cult of Sacrifice. In a normal Guard army, it's fucking incredible. I am not going to excuse my language. It cannot be overstated how important this is. Okay? Now, Games Workshop may fix this. I have no doubt if we all start turning up to tournaments with Fearless Guards and Blobs, Games Workshop is going to fix it. But bear in mind, this is on a 35-point model. Okay? Now, it is an elite choice. But do not forget that this has the Astra Militarum keyword. What does that mean? It means you could take this in a Supreme Command detachment. And not Supreme Command detachment, it's an elite. In a Vanguard detachment. If you're running triple battalion, you know, you could take... I would take this if you were taking a brigade, a battalion, and then I would take, so you got loads of command points, and then I would take a Vanguard and just take 3 of these guys. Or like 2 priests and 1 of these guys. It doesn't matter. It's got the Astra Militarum keyword. The detachment is not a regiment. Just take it as... It's Ordo Perfectus, Jesus Christ. You know, just take it as its own thing. Take, you know, if you don't want more than 1 of them, fine. But I would take 3 of these in a Vanguard. I'm just like, hey, guess what? I've got the old Commissar rule back. What are you going to do about it? Really, really important. Cannot be overstated. Like I said, the Krieg have got so many good options in their elite choices. Okay? So many good options. But that's the main reason you take it. Absolutely, that's the main reason you take it. Now, again, moving on to the next choice. I think we're going to do them all in one video, guys. It might be a slightly long video. We're going to do them all as one video. The Deathcore Quartermaster Cadre is the next unit, and this guy is absolutely essential if you are running a traditional Krieg army of artillery and bodies. Okay, he's 42 points, and he comes with 2 Deathcore Medical Servitors, or Medicae Servitors, Deathcore and a Deathcore Quartermaster Revenant. Now, you can equip the Deathcore Quartermaster like you can any character. You know, you can take all the pistols, or you can even take a bloody hotshot rifle on him if you want to. You can give him power weapons. He comes with a medipack, and he comes with his 2 medical servitors as well. He's 38 points. They're 4 points each. You have to take them. They're 2 points each. You have to take them as a package deal. Now, he comes with his stats are, sorry, he's actually weapon skill 3 plus bliss skill 3 plus strength 3 toughness 3. He only has 2 wounds. Okay, but he is a character, and the whole unit is a character, so he can't be targeted. He only has 2 attacks. He's leadership 7. He's got a 4 plus save. His servitors hit on 5 plus bliss, but you know, movement 6, weapon skill 5 plus bliss skill 5 plus strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 1, attacks 1, leadership 6, 4 plus save. Okay, in terms of weapons, like I said, you can give him what you want, but as standard, he comes with frag, crack, and a hotshot las pistol. And the servitors come with medical scalpels. This is a strength user ability with no AP, damage 1. This weapon wounds on a 2+, unless it is targeting a vehicle, in which case it wounds on a 6+. But considering you're only hitting on, well, 4s, if when they're near the Quartermaster Revenant, they hit on 4s. Which is good. But you've only got 1 attack each, so it's 2 attacks which wound on 2s. Woo! Abilities. This guy has the Medipack. At the end of your movement phase, a model with a Medipack can attempt to heal a single model. Select a friendly Deathcore of Krieg infantry unit within 3 inches. Roll a d6 on a 4+1 model. If the unit recovers a wound lost early in the battle. If the unit has one with characteristic, one model slain early in the battle is returned to the unit. The unit can only be targeted ability once each turn. So you can't take this guy and get him to heal non-Deathcore guys. He doesn't care about them. He only heals Deathcore people. Now, he does have the Vitae Mortis. Each time a friendly Deathcore of Krieg infantry or Deathcore of Krieg cavalry unit within 6 inches suffers a wound on a d6, roll a d6. On a 6, it ignores the injury and the wound is not lost. A unit cannot use both this and the augmented mount ability to prevent the same wound. So, essentially, he gives all you guys within 6 inches a 6-up feel no pain. Why can't the regular guard medics do that? Beyond belief, but whatever. This is the guy that you want to run if you're taking mass Krieg infantry. If you're taking 3 battalions of Krieg infantry, 150 to 180 guys, you are going to want this guy coming along. Now, I've been spitballing with this idea, and it's a mad one. I'm not going to lie, it's a mad one. But it's about, you know, going full Deathcore of Krieg Grenadier spam. So what you do is you take your Deathcore of Krieg Grenadier guys, you take 10 in each squad, okay, and then you just take 3 battalions worth of them. So you take 180 Deathcore of Krieg Grenadiers. You then form those up into three spearheads. Give each spearhead a Deathcore of Krieg quartermaster. So every guy there is fearless to morale, has a 4+ save and a 6-up feel no pain, which is pretty much the equivalent of having a 3+ save statistically, I believe. Probably wrong. Then you're obviously going to want some HQ, so you take a marshal and a field commander per squad, and you add all that together. So you've got 3 orders per detachment, and a 6-up feel no pain on every guy, and that comes to 1,746 points. And you've still got, that means you've still got 250 points left over. So that's 250 points which you spend on special weapons and close combat weapons, if you want. And then you've got just an insane army. Absolutely pants on head bonkers. Because you could take plasma guns at every single one of these guys. You know, you could do that. And you, what is it? 36 plasma guns? So what is 36 times 11? 396 points. So you couldn't take a plasma gun on every single one. Fair enough. But you could take... You could take a plasma gun and a grenade launcher on each guy. That's 14 points times 18. Yeah. Roughly, you could take a plasma gun and a grenade launcher on each squad. And you'd probably take the grenade launcher simply because it's strength 6 AP -1 slug. You'd be using the crack grenade all the time. And you just sit there, plasma gunning. You know, having a plasma shot per guy, per squad. That's 18. You're still running 18 plasma guns. It's not like you're low on plasma. And you're still running 18 grenade launchers. And you're still running 8 times 18 hotshot lasguns, 144 hotshot lasguns, which you can pretty much without mercy most, you know, at least half of those every single turn. So, you know, they're all getting 2 shots all the time. I think that's a really horrible, nasty army. I think that's really powerful. And it's, and the main, but obviously slightly off topic, but the main reason it works is because even though you've only got 180 guys, they've all got a 6-up feel no pain and a 4+ save. And that is my mad army that came out of me discovering what the Quartermaster Revenant does. So, moving on, we've got 2 choices left. We've got the Hades Breaching Drill Squadron and the Master of Ordnance. So both of these should be relatively quick to cover. So we should be done in less than an hour. So the Hades Breaching Drill Squadron is a squad of 10 veterans with normal shotguns. Now, a lot of people have Hades Breaching Drills from 7th edition because you used to be able to put engineers with them. Engineers with those Carcass Shot shotguns. That was a bloody good delivery system. Unfortunately, Now you can only take normal veterans with them. The Hades Breach Drill Squadron is not as good. Okay, so but the veterans are only 5 points each. And the drill is 65 points. So for 115 points, you get a 10-man squad. Okay, each one of those veterans, like I said, comes with a shotgun, and you can take special weapons in the squad as well. I believe you can take 3 special weapons. Just checking now. No, you can take 2. So you can take 2 special weapons in the squad, and you can use the Hades breaching drill to get them into position. Because what that allows you to do is deep strike them, essentially. So we'll go on the abilities of the unit now. So the normal, they've got weapon skill 3+. And weirdly, well, this is, according to Battle Scribe, these guys actually, these Hades veterans, have only got a weapon skill 4+, and they've only got a ballistic skill 4+. The strength 3, toughness 3, their wounds 1, attacks 1 each. Sergeant's got 2, leadership 8 on the sergeant. Interesting. Okay, I suspect this is incorrect. I reckon they're the normal Deathcore. I reckon they've got the 3+ thing, because it doesn't have. Although, anyway, so the breaching drill is the one that you're really looking at, because the breaching drill is weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 4+, strength 5, toughness 7, 7 wounds, and D6 attacks. It's got a 3+ save. Now they come with normal, like I said, they come with normal shotguns. So the assault 2, strength 3, unless you're in half range, in which case it's strength 4. And the breaching drill comes with the melter cutter drill, which is melee only. It's strength user times 2. So this thing's actually strength 10. It's AP -4 and it's D3 damage, except for when you are fighting vehicles and it's D6 damage. It does not have a -1 to hit inbuilt like most power fists type weapons. So great. It's actually like a strength times 2 AP -4 power fist. Now you only have D6 attacks, so it's real swingy. But if it does have the potential to absolutely mulch something. This thing's weirdly good against knights, because if you get in there and you get your D6 attacks, then you get a 6. You're hitting on 3s, and then you're wounding on 3s. The knight doesn't get a save, and you do D6 damage. So it potentially could just chop the legs out from underneath the knight. Now the way these things work is the drill can explode. Okay. And it does so on a 6, and any unit within D6 inches suffers D3 mortal wounds. It also has fortification breaches, so when you're attacking a building, it becomes 2d6 attacks and d6 damage. Not many buildings in 40k these days, but if fortifications make a comeback, this thing's here to slap them back down. Separate orders. The first time this unit is set up, the Hades Breach and Drill Squadron must be deployed as a single group with each model within 2 inches of at least another model from their unit. From that point on, the Hades Breach and Drill operates independently from the unit of veterans, and both are treated as separate units for all rules purposes. So that's actually bad, because it means you can't use the drill to tank wounds for the squad, which is sad. It would be really good if it was part of the squad. You could use it to tank wounds, but oh well. Subterranean assault. During deployment, you can set this unit up underground instead of placing it on the battlefield. At the end of any of your movement phase, the unit may drill up from the ground and into battle. Set up anywhere on your battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models, so it has deep strike. And the drill has one last ability, Wearing Blades. Has a 4+ invulnerable save in the fight phase. Basically, you're trying to fight this thing. It's just a bunch of teeth. You don't want to fight that thing unless you're coming up from the side. Now, I'm going off what it says here on Battle Scribe. I would take this with a pinch of salt, because this seems incorrect. But if someone in the comment section down below could confirm, that would be great. Because here it says that these veterans don't come with crack grenades, they don't come with Cult of Sacrifice, and they don't come with weapon skill 4+. They come with weapon skill 3+, and the ballistic skill is only 4+, which is very unusual. So if someone could confirm down in the comment section below, because it seems unusual that the veterans wouldn't have a 3+ ballistic skill, and then they're in a Krieg unit, but then they don't get, Seems weird. But maybe this isn't a Krieg only unit. Maybe this is a unit that any army can take. And that's why it doesn't have to call it sacrifice, but Krieg have access to it. I suspect that may be the case. Now the last thing to say is the Master of Ordnance. This is not a Krieg specific unit. This is anyone in the Ashen Militar can take it. I don't see it being... I see it being potentially quite useful. Well, let's take a look at the guy actually. No, I don't think this is particularly useful for Krieg, unfortunately, because there's a bit of an oversight with his rules. So it's 30 points, and what you get for that is ballistic skill 3, weapon skill 4 plus ballistic skill 3 plus strength 3, toughness 3, wounds 3, attacks 2, leadership 6, 5 plus save, and he comes with 2 abilities. He comes with a lad's pistol, doesn't even come with a chainsword, and he comes with. You just get Cult of Sacrifice, great. Now he comes with an ability Artillery Barrage, which is basically a one-shot battle cannon. So it's 100-inch range, heavy D6, strength 8, AP -2, D3 wounds. Can only be fired once per battle. It cannot be used if the bearer moves. It can target units that are not visible to the bearer, but then it's -1 to hit. And you can only use an artillery barrage once per turn, regardless of how many massive orders you have in your army. So you can't take 3 and fire off 3 artillery barrages in one turn, but you can take 3 and fire them off turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, 1 each turn. The main reason you would normally take this is for, well, that's the main reason I normally take my massive orders, is just for his ability, because it's for the artillery barrage, because it's cool. But a lot of people like to take it if you're not Cajun, and you like to take him for the Master of Ballistics, which you can reroll any hit rolls of 1 made for friendly regiment, basilisks, wyverns, manticores, or death strikes when they target enemy units over 36 inches away in the shooting phase, if they are within 6 inches of this model. Now I won't go too much into the massive ordnance here, because it's a generic guard unit. Anyone can take him. But I will say I'm very disappointed that Games Workshop have made another oversight. Because obviously you'd want to take a massive ordnance with all the normal artillery, you know, your thud guns, your heavy mortars, your, what are they called, Earthshaker carriages, Medusas, all the normal artillery would obviously benefit from a massive ordnance, but they haven't changed the rules for him. So essentially he's pretty useless in a Krieg army. I think the best way to take a massive ordnance is an Acadian army, because he can just give himself reroll once to hit, because he gets the regimental keyword. So there you go, guys. It's a long video. I decided to do them all in one place. Hopefully you will agree I've given each unit its fair attention. If I've missed anything, please put it down in the comments section below. And if you think that I should, if there's any specific tactics that I haven't touched upon, put it down in the comments section below. I may do this as an overview of the Deathcore of Krieg elite choices, and if there's a unit that requires more attention, maybe like engineers. Though I think I covered it all. If anyone, can anyone just confirm with me delivery systems for these guys? Because you used to be able to put a Hades drill with them, but you can't anymore. So I'm guessing Chimera or Centaur light carrier is the best option for them. Maybe a Valkyrie, have them jumping out of the Valkyrie, that would be quite good. Valkyrie and Carcass Shot sounds like a good idea to me. Valkyrie, Grav Shoot and Carcass Shot sounds like a good combination to me. What do you guys think? Please let me know down in the comment section below. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and of course I'll see you guys next time.